I'm Tom.
And I'm Denise. And we're
Hopelessly Lost. And Hopelessly Purple this week.
Great minds, you know.
Yes, I guess so. So this week's show, it didn't really focus on any single character like so many of them have. That's a good sign, though, because it means they're starting to wrap up some of these loose ends, and Lord knows there's plenty of loose ends to wrap up. In the LA timeline, it's just coincidence after coincidence after coincidence that's starting to pile up.
Coincidence or convenient writing?
You make the call. For one, Desmond's lawyer is in the same building, on the same floor as Claire's adoption agency. Coincidence? Convenient writing. Who knows? Desmond is, of course, probably following Claire because he seems to have this mission to round up all the passengers from Flight 815.
That's true. It's also the same lawyer who's handling Christian's will, Jack's father. And who's the lawyer? It's Ilana.
Who's looking all not blown up.
Yeah, she's remarkably in one piece. Did Desmond set this up because he knows Jack and Claire are connected because of the knowledge he has of the island timeline? Don't know.
There was a revealing moment there where Jack and his son were walking through the lawyer's office, and lawyer Ilana asks him, "So do you believe in fate?" And that, man, talk about cutting right to the core of somebody's character. He didn't answer the question either, which is a little curious. But.
Yeah. All right. Son and Locke arrive simultaneously at the same hospital. And she says, "That's him! That's him!" And as you see Locke, being rolled up next to him, is she seen through the timeline because she remembers Locke from the island?
Because I don't think she's met Locke in L.A.
No.
So, and then Jack is called in to perform surgery on Locke, a man he had earlier offered to help. Apparently, LA is a smaller town than we thought it was. There's like one lawyer's office in one building, and one doctor in one hospital. Yes.
Yeah. And apparently only two cops, because Sawyer and Miles arrest Saeed for the mob murders, which happened to be in the same place that Son was shot.
This episode, a lot of it revolved around Jack, even though it wasn't really one character focused. Jack, if there was one character, it was Jack.
He is the center of the Lost universe.
On the island, the nature of the smoke monster dude is cleared up quite a bit, although there's still a lot to be explained there. He says he took the form of Locke because Locke's dead body arrived on the island. How convenient. He also revealed that earlier he had taken the form of Jack's dad, Christian, because his dead body arrived on the island, and he wanted to help the survivors. So he says, he also says that John Locke was not a believer, Jack. He was a sucker.
Yeah, nice. It does raise a question, though. What happened to Christian's body? His coffin was empty when Jack found it.
Coincidence?
Right? Smokey takes the form of dead people, but he doesn't actually animate their bodies,
Right.
So where's Christian's body?
Don't know.
Don't know.
This episode also marked the return of the real Jack. Enough of this. What happens, wussy Jack. Real Jack, take charge Jack is back. He's on a boat sailing away from the island with Sawyer, and he says it doesn't feel right. And so Sawyer says, "Get off my damn boat." And he does. He just jumps off the boat.
Another revealing Jack scene came at the end when Locke and his group are standing on the beach, and Widmore launches this missile. I guess it's a missile attack.
Yes.
Whatever it was. And bodies are flying. It was really cool effects, by the way. You actually saw Jack flying. People are obviously hurt, but Locke rescues Jack. Only Jack. Locke tells Jack, "You're with me now."
Yes.
And he needs Jack to get off the island.
And the rest of the people in that group were a bunch of nobodies. They were if this was Star Trek, they'd be wearing the red shirts. Those guys. Now, questions answered. There were some questions answered this week. One is that Kate is apparently not Sawyer's one true love. They've interacted in L.A., but there's no indication that either one of them saw through to the island timeline like the others have. She even asks him, "Hey, are you hitting on me?"
All right. Well, will Son and Jen ever be reunited? The answer is yes, yes. And there was much rejoicing. Okay, finally they get together, and Son can miraculously speak English again.
Oddly enough, though, so can Jen.
Yeah. Well, he learned it in the 70s, back when he was with the Dharma group, right? This should be a bit of a surprise
Yeah.
to her, you would think, but I think she was so wrapped up in...
I guess.
Yeah.
Of course, also questions raised this week.
Would be lost if they didn't raise questions.
Right. One is that who's the mother of Jack's son? We still have never figured that out. My money says it's Juliet, but don't rule out Anna Lucia. Could be a surprise. It makes sense that it would be Juliet, though, because they're divorced. So obviously they're not one another's one true loves. One's true love, whatever.
Whatever. But that leaves it open, because, that means that Jack and Kate could be...
They could. And Sawyer and Juliet could be...
Penguins?
That's not obscene, is it?
Anyway, okay, another question. Did Saeed actually kill Desmond in the well? Okay, we thought before that Desmond was dead in the well, but apparently the well was only about 2 feet deep. So I don't think he killed him.
He says he killed him.
But in the show, you never know.
He's a zombie, of course.
Desmond asks a pretty devastating question to Saeed, though. He says, "What will you tell her when she asks what you did to be with me again?"
Also, another question raised, what the hell is in Jack's backpack that is so important? He jumps off a boat miles from shore, swims all the way to shore, keeps his hiking boots and his backpack on. What is in there that either something really important or he's one hell of a swimmer?
Well,
or maybe it's like filled with a life jacket and it kept him afloat. I don't know.
He's a Boy Scout. You got to be prepared.
Yeah, I suppose. The quote of the day came from Sawyer describing Frank Lapidus, the pilot, and he describes him as that pilot who looked like he stepped off the set of a Burt Reynolds movie. I love that.
And it says we have 4 episodes left, but there are really 5 weeks left, because next week is a repeat of the Richard episode. All right, so you can catch up a little then, and then it's new episodes for 3 Tuesdays until the final big finale on Sunday, May 23rd.
Mark your calendars. Okay, that does it for this week.
Follow at Jack Gax on Twitter, or become a friend of Jack Jacksonville on Facebook.
Until next week,
We're hopelessly
purple and lost.